So for today's project, I am using my go-to, which is Ice Thin. Works on, it's my favorite for pouring into these thinner molds. You can pour it up to 1 inch. I really do prefer a thicker resin. It cures quicker, and this one here, sometimes it does hold the bubbles in a little bit, but I just turn the temperature in a room up to 75, and it really makes a difference with how thin it's going to get, and releasing the bubbles. So one other reason why it is my favorite, it is so clear and it is so magnifying. So anything that you pour that has a little bit of a thickness, it's gonna really look like it's has a lot of depth. So okay, today we're doing a bowl, and I really love pouring these bowls. I first saw Media Girl pour one, and it's so easy. Any beginner can do it with just a couple tips. Now, you want to make sure that your board is level, or wherever you're pouring your table. That's very important, because otherwise you're going to get a bowl that is thinner or thicker on one side. So first thing you want to do is level. Now this is this mold here is, I think, like 14 inches across, so I wasn't able to use my favorite level board, which is the Just Resin glass leveling board. So I'm breaking this one out. It's GSV, and it's a little more difficult to get level. I will say that it's harder to work with, but it does come with this cover that you can peel the resin off easily. So we went ahead and cleaned our mold and made sure the board was level. So next step is finding out how many ounces does your mold have. So once you find that out, know that you don't have to fill it with the bowl. You might not want your bowl this thick, okay, just so it's covering. And then pick out your inks. Now when you're picking out your alcohol inks, here is a good tip. Some of them are like metallic, they're not already mixed. See how you have to really work to mix the colors in here. Though do not use those kind, because they're heavier. They're going to stick to the mold and not really spread out very well. So you want to just use the regular alcohol inks. I know Just Resin does carry them, ones that you don't have to shake up. So today I am going to make the mold for St. Patty's Day. So that's one nice thing about these molds. They're so easy to make, and you can make one for every holiday. Okay, so I did pick out some greens here. Apple green, I think I'm gonna use that. Well, there's dark green. And then I also picked out some yellows. Whoop, not that one. And golden yellow, lemon yellow, regular yellow. I did pick out a blue, and reason for that is because yellow and blue is going to make green. So I'm going to see how that turns out. I really don't want a lot of blue in here, but I like using 3 different colors. We'll just see how it works out. So first thing, like I said, make sure this is level, and make sure you have a clean mold. And then next step will be to add the alcohol inks. Okay, so scrape the sides. This looks good to go. Now let's test our inks. I opened all of our ink caps, and I just want to make sure that they're all ready to go. And just test the colors to make sure that I like them. There's the blue. Well, I'm going to keep all of them. I was going to try and get rid of one of the greens, but looks good. All right, so now I'm going to just go make the center. So I got this glitter, and I'll just pour a little bit of this. You want to pour the glitter in before the resin because you want to try to keep it thick, and that way you can clearly see how much resin you need. All right, so this is going to give it time to thicken up. Okay. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. And then we will go ahead and start adding our ink. I think I'm going to keep the lighter colors in the center and then darker colors in the middle. So let's see, let's just start with this dark gold. I need to open a little more. It doesn't have to be perfect. What I was thinking about doing is putting the blue right on top of that yellow. See what effect we can get. Okay, here we go. Then we're just going to pour directly into the center with all the resin. This is going to be an awesome looking bowl. Okay, so let's just give it, let's say an hour. This is going to thicken up a little more. Then we're going to add it to the center. I'm going to wait to add it to the center because of trying to keep it from spreading out. There are some bubbles coming up because it is thinner, but I'm just going to run this torch on them a little bit. Okay, so we'll be back in an hour. Another tip for these alcohol inks is you really want to get the caps back on them because they'll evaporate really quick. Okay, ready to check it out a little bit. And oh my goodness, like I said, I had it 75 degrees in here, so it's been about an hour. I could have been an hour and a half. I may have let this go a little too long. So you know what? I still want to add this chunky glitter, so I'm gonna just put some gold alcohol ink in here. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. Still very thick. Let me see. That thins it out a little bit. Well, it's definitely going to be able to be controlled where I put it because you can see how thick it got. It's probably because of the temperature in here. Okay. Probably too thick, but we're going to try it anyway. We'll just try and spread it out. I actually have never worked with it this thick before. I think what I'm going to end up doing is putting the heat gun on this a little bit, try to melt it. Oh, that's going to be fine. This will help thin it out and flatten it a little bit. It's going to be so cute. Okay, seems to be working rather well. So I am going to leave it at that and come back in another, well, let's see. How thick it really is. Okay, it's still sticking on the side. I'm going to come back and actually check in another hour to see how it's doing. We might even be able to unmold at that time. It's probably only going to be another hour or two. All right, time to check to see if we are ready to unmold here. And what I'm going to do is check the sides, see if it separates, and it doesn't. It still needs to cure a little bit more. It's still too liquidy, but it looks like it's pretty close. So I'm going to check back in another 30 minutes and see how we're progressing. Okay. Definitely ready to go. I might have even left it on here a little too long. So we're going to put it in a plastic bowl because we will be able to remove it. It's not going to stick to the plastic bowl. Okay, pull it off of here, off the mold, and this thing is going to be awesome. Okay. So now you can just shape it. Make sure you have a flat bottom, otherwise the bowl's not going to sit flat. And then hey, you can just shape it however you prefer. Another option would be maybe sticking or propping some things behind it. It's really up to you. I think this is pretty much going to stay. This is cured enough. Okay, looking good. So we're going to leave it like this for now and check back once it's fully cured.